Hi everyone, and thank you for stopping by my channel. So I know I've been gone for a super long time. The last time I checked in with you guys, I was getting ready to have um, my surgery for the biventricular ICD, and I uploaded a late video of after I got the surgery. So since then, a lot, and I mean a lot, has happened. Okay, so I got my surgery for the biventricular ICD December 2018. Coming into 2019, I just was not feeling well. I kept being in the hospital for weeks at a time. Finally, I was admitted to the hospital in early March of this year. And so I go into the hospital and they're telling me, you have end-stage heart failure. There's not much we can do for you. We would consider you for an LVAD, but we have to consult with the team. And long story short, they consulted with the team, and the head doctor decided that I would not be eligible for an LVAD, which kind of left me in a stuck place because I'm overweight, so I'm not eligible for a transplant, and they're telling me my heart is bad, the medicine's not working, there's not much more they can do. And so I kind of felt defeated. Um, I have children, and so I was just worried about being alive, being here for them, and I got upset and I did leave the hospital. And so I came home that day. Literally, the next morning, I got home at like 5 p.m. The next morning at 8 o'clock, my phone is like blowing up. And it's my cardiologist. And she's like, Tiara, you are too sick to be at home. You need to come back to the hospital now. We can't risk it. And I'm just thinking like, well, what are you going to do? Because you guys told me there's not much more you can do and I'm not eligible for an LVAD. And so the hospital's an hour away. I attend the University of Michigan for my cardiology. So I get in the car and I go back. And I have, the doctors, they round. And so each week the rounding doctor changes. And so when I went back, there was a different head cardiologist on board. And she's like, no, I think you really need to consider this medication called Milrinone. So the plan was to start me on a dose and to see how well my heart adjusted. And so they started me on the Milrinone drip, and I felt so much better. Like, it was kind of instant. Like, the next morning I woke up, I had energy, I could walk, like I felt better. And so the plan was for me to come home with the PICC line in my arm, and I would give myself the doses through a little machine that I would carry with me. And so I'm all planned out for that. Okay, my heart's doing better. I'm going to get this medicine. It's going to help me out. The day I'm supposed to be discharged, an entire team comes into my room. And I'm talking like 15 doctors. And University of Michigan is a teaching school. So it's like 15 doctors and 10 students. They're like taking up the entire room, leading out into the hallway. And my cardiologist says, you're not going home. At that point, I just wanted to bust out crying. Like, I've gotten my head wrapped around, I got this medicine drip in my arm. I'm going home and be able to be with my girls, my family. And she's like, your heart is doing so well. We want to just go ahead and do the LVAD now. We don't want to chance it because with the Milrinone, people do well on it, and they can do well for 6 months, 9 months, a year, and then your body starts to reject the medicine and not respond as well. And so her concerns were me getting to that point where my body no longer responded well to the medication, and then I didn't have a backup plan because I can't get a transplant right now. So She's like, we're going to do the LVAD. Now, this is on Wednesday. I was supposed to go home on Wednesday. So now I'm not fighting it because I was really, really sad that I couldn't get the LVAD at first, because I felt defeated. I felt helpless. So now I have the option to get the LVAD. I wasn't even fighting it. I'm like, I'm going to do it. I don't know how I'm going to make it through this because you guys, I am a scary cat. I do not like pain at all. And so that was Wednesday. I started the workup for the LVAD that following morning, that Thursday. And I'll do another video for those of you who may be considering getting the LVAD or your cardiologist has brought it up to you about the different tests that you have to do for the workup for the LVAD. So I did all of my testing Thursday. Everything went smooth. Friday comes and I'm still in my room. And the doctor comes in and is like, okay, the last step you got to do, you have to go see the dentist. Of course, nobody loves the dentist. So I go downstairs to the dentist and they inform me that they need to pull 3 teeth. Both of my wisdom teeth in the back and one that was in front of the wisdom tooth. So now I'm upset because I hate the dentist. And I'm just like, okay, I got to do it. Like, stop psyching myself out. And I ended up just going ahead, letting them do it. And I'm back in my room. The cardiologist comes back. And at this point, it's 4 days before my daughter's birthday. And so I'm like, okay, so I'm thinking that they're just going to schedule the LVAD surgery. And I'm going to be able to go home. And I asked, and she's like, no, we want to do the surgery Monday morning. It's freaking Friday. Like, you want to do this major open heart surgery in 3 days. Like, I was terrified. And so I had to call my daughter and tell her I wasn't going to make it home for her birthday, which made me feel really, really bad. But I knew that I had to do this in order to still be alive to see her grow up. And I explained it to her. She was fine. So all weekend I'm like reading, I'm watching videos, and there wasn't much. I wanted to see someone like me, a normal person. And most people that get LVADs, they're older or they have a different form of heart failure. And I'll do a video on my specific form of heart failure, which is postpartum cardiomyopathy. No, it's not because I'm overweight. No, it's not because I ate the wrong things. It's a form of heart failure that you develop after having a child. But anyway, there wasn't anybody on YouTube that I could relate to. And so I was kind of sad because I wanted to see firsthand somebody who's young like me that's dealing with the same situation. And so I just read a lot of online material about the LVAD, but you guys, nothing could prepare me for that surgery. Nothing. My family came at like 5:30 a.m. Monday morning, and they talked to me, they prayed over me. I had to take my nose ring out, and they came in and explained everything in anesthesia. Sunday, I had to get a IV in my neck. It's called a swan. Oh my God. You guys, it left a mark. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a big mark on my neck. That's how big that freaking IV is. And it hurts so bad. So I was just ready to get it over with Sunday night when I got that, because I'm like, oh my God, I got to get this out of my neck. So I went into surgery, and I'm not sure exactly how long it took. I've never asked. I assume maybe 4 or 5 hours. I'm not sure. So I come out of surgery, and I was out for 4 days. I didn't wake up until the 3rd day. They kept me sedated, and I was on a ventilator. My lungs weren't doing so well. And when you're under sedation, sometimes you can hear what's going on around you, even though your eyes aren't open, you can't see. So I'm laying there and I'm on this ventilator and I can hear the physicians, the cardiologists, the pulmonologists, the nurses, and I hear everybody talking. And they're like, no, we're not taking her off the ventilator. Don't get her up. She's not ready. And I mean, they were really gun ho about not waking me up, not taking me off the ventilator. I have severe anxiety. So waking up on a ventilator with that tube down my throat, you guys, when I tell you, it is the worst feeling ever. You feel like you're suffocating, like I have anxiety. So, I mean, I know the machine was breathing for me, but it made me feel like I couldn't breathe. And I was just so ready to get off of it. And I wake up periodically, and I don't know if they were like shooting more medicine in my IV, but I go back out. I wake up the next day. And I remember when I came to the next day, and the nurse was talking to a team of doctors, and she's like, she's young. She's 29. She's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with her lungs. Take her off the ventilator. And they're like, no, we don't think so. So, I mean, when I say this nurse really went to bat for me, she went to bat for me, and they ended up taking me off of the ventilator. When I say that first breath with that tube out, it felt amazing. I don't care how much pain I was in. I wasn't thinking about it. I don't even think at that point I felt the pain. I was just so happy to be off the ventilator. Like, so happy. And at that point, I'm just looking around the room, and I'm looking like I have all of these IV bags and machines connected to me. And I'm just kind of like, okay, this is a lot. I wasn't expecting this. And, so they tell me, okay, now you gotta get up. And I'm like, what? Like, you just took me off the ventilator. Now I have to get up. And they're like, yeah, you gotta learn how to walk again. Like, you gotta get up. We can't let you lay here. When I say that is the worst pain ever. I hate pain. I'm terrified of just getting an IV. So for me to have open heart surgery, and I didn't have staples. They glued mine back together. They put the stitches inside, and then they glued me back up on the outside, and I had a wound vac on for the duration of me being in the hospital, actually. And that the wound vac just keeps the moisture and everything out of it, and kind of helps it seal together and heal. And so I wish I have recorded had someone record me my first steps when I first got up. But honestly, I wanted to record because like I said, there's not anyone out there that's young like me, that's going through this LVAD situation on YouTube. However, I just wasn't in a place to be thinking about that. I was just focusing on the pain, and I needed to get my medicine and get back in the bed. And so I had my surgery March 25th, and I came home, I believe the last week in April. I came home. And, if you were thinking about getting the LVAD, or you're considering getting the LVAD, you definitely need someone to help you. It's not something in the beginning that you can do yourself. You're going to need help. Simple things like getting up out of a chair or out of the bed is so painful. You will need assistance. And I'll do a video on like the machine that I'm connected to 24/7. I'll show you what it looks like. For those who are interested, I have a HeartMate 3, and it's you have a drive line that comes out of your stomach here, and it's connected to a controller and 2 batteries, and it's essentially an artificial heart. I have an LVAD. You do have those that have an RVAD if the right side of their heart is bad, and then there are some that have an LVAD and an RVAD. And generally, they can't leave the hospital, although there are some people in my LVAD group that have an LVAD and an RVAD, and they are at home doing perfectly fine. And so I said all this to say, don't get discouraged. If you're at the point where you're having to think about getting an LVAD or a heart transplant, you have to think about the bigger picture, not the pain, not, oh, I'm going to have a scar, not, oh, I'm going to have this machine or I can't swim. You have to think about the bigger picture, and that's you taking care of yourself, being the best you that you can be, and being here with your family. And so it's a new journey. It is not easy every day. Some days are better than others, but I am making it. And so I'm going to do a series on the LVAD. Like I said, I'll show you guys what it looks like, all the equipment that you have at home, as well as the dressing changes you have to do daily when you first get the LVAD. All the rules and what you can and can't do. We're not supposed to vacuum because of static electricity. I've heard you're not supposed to mow the lawn. I don't mow the lawn anyway. And I've also, of course, you can't swim because you're connected to an electronic device. You electrocute yourself. But there are other little things, that you're not supposed to do to care for yourself. So I am on the journey to a heart transplant. And at first I wasn't sure, but I want to be here for my family. And so I'm just doing what I have to do. So thank you guys, my few subscribers that I do have. I don't want to feel like I'm talking to myself, but I did have someone that reached out to me and sent me a message of like, hey, how are you? What's going on? You haven't recorded a video. And I was like, it made me feel good. Like I mattered. Like somebody really watched me. They really, cared enough to check up on me. And so I'm going to get back started. I'm going to do the LVAD series. I'm also going to do a series on just postpartum cardiomyopathy itself, because that's a whole different ball game. And there are tests that you can have while you're pregnant to help detect if your heart is failing. So thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry this video is so long. I just wanted to give you guys an update, and make sure you subscribe, like, share, and I will be uploading another video soon. Goodbye.